There is one woman who is making a difference on how women are portrayed. Emma Ramos is the publisher of E2K magazine, a women's entertainment magazine. With her magazine, she sets out to empower females. Emma, welcome to the program. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
So how do you do a one-person magazine? I hear you're self-published.
Yeah, with a lot of patience and a lot of determination.
How long have you been at it?
Going on 7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let me show the public the magazines that you publish, because they look very glossy, very professional. These are just 3 editions of E2K. And what does E2K stand for?
It stands for Everything to Know About Women.
Everything to Know About Women. Now, you're a one-person staff?
Yeah, everybody else is freelance.
Okay,
You
so
know.
you're the editor and you have writers, though.
Yeah,
I
have
thought you
writers.
wrote the whole magazine. I said, my God,
started-
Superwoman.
I started doing it that way.
Really?
Yeah, I started doing. The only thing I didn't do myself was the graphic work.
Okay.
I had somebody do the graphic, but I was doing all the stories, all the interviews, and it started getting really, really too much. And as they were looking at the magazine, a lot of writers were submitting their stories and wanted to be involved with the movement. And so I started then using freelance writers.
And how often does it come out?
Bi-monthly, every 2 months.
Every 2 months you put out a magazine. Now, is it on the newsstand? How do people get this?
It's on the newsstands
All over New York?
all over New York.
Okay. And what kind of reaction are you getting in terms of circulation? Are more people finding out about it? Are they buying it more? What is different about your magazine? Why should they buy it as opposed to all these other women's magazines?
Well, it's not, it's a women's lifestyle entertainment magazine.
Okay.
It's that's the category of it. But I'm not just one genre of women. I'm all women. I advocate for all women across the board. When I first started, actually, I was a hip-hop magazine.
Got it.
And I didn't like the way the direction that hip-hop was portraying women. And so I really wasn't co-signing with a lot of things that, they were doing to us women. So I kind of stopped and I put the magazine on the internet for like 2 years. And a lot of people, a lot of women were were asking me, what about our story? Like independent women that own their own business and own their own cars, their own vehicles. They were like, what about us? Why don't you write about us and our struggle, and our story, how we manage kids and still do our own business and still go out there and work and, and handle everything that happens in a daily, in the daily life. And I started really thinking about it. I'm like, wow, who more can I write about? It's about women.
So you're writing about the average woman as opposed to all these other glamour magazines that are writing about the celebrities.
The woman of today. Not the woman that really can go out and afford $400 pair of shoes and not worry about if her kid ate, or has food in the refrigerator. So the women of today, the one that got to stretch that $10 and be able to go to Payless and buy a pair of shoes and still buy milk and cereal for the morning, so when the child goes to school.
Okay. So does this come from personal experience?
I guess somewhat, yeah.
The struggle in your own life is reflected here?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell me about what kind of reaction are you getting from your readers? Do they write you? Do you publish their letters?
I'm getting, I'm surprised. I'm actually getting more positive feedback from men than from women. Yeah.
Well, men are reading it too?
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
what are men trying to find out from your magazine?
Well, I mean, at the beginning they start, this is just women stuff or whatever, but they get to learn a lot of stuff. We put a lot of educational articles in there. We talk about things like flaxseed, how flaxseed helps with cancer. We have a segment called Ask Mecca, and he's a writer. He writes for other publications, and he gets questions from the women that we were like meant to seriously answer. As your man. So, you get asked a question, you kind of want to, worry about our feelings, but Mecca doesn't. He lets us, he just says it how it is. So that's interesting because the men want to know what he's saying to the women. The women want to know what actually a man is really thinking, And, we touch on topics like bisexuality amongst teenagers. We touch subjects and matters that are happening in today's society in the Bronx. You go out there and this is what you're seeing out here. Our kids are running amok. It's not like it used to be back in the days. Now it's like, oh, you touch me, it's 911 and all that type of nonsense. It's not good discipline like before. Like you would do something in your neighborhood before and before you get to your moms, you're getting slapped like 6 times by the neighbors and everybody else that can take a whack at you. And it wasn't abuse then. It was actually, they were teaching you how to respect, and there was more respect then. So I'm trying to kind of, shake up the women of today. Look what you're doing. Look what we're doing to our children. You know what I'm saying? Let's educate our children a lot more. Let's educate ourselves a lot more. Let's try to, want to finish that high school and, proceed college. Don't just get too happy. I got a high school diploma now, great McDonald's. Nothing against about people that work at McDonald's, but, we just want to set those goals just a little bit higher, so.
One of the things you interesting that you told me, and you told me many, many interesting things that I want to ask you about. I don't know how much time we have. We only have 1 minute left in this segment, and then we'll come back with some more.
Okay.
But when you talked about how you started with hip hop, and it's curious to me because recently one of our students in the Bronx Journal, the newspaper, wrote an article about how degrading it is, how that the, women are presented by hip hop artists nowadays in the covers of the DVDs, on the CDs, and the music videos, the exploitation of women. Is this something that your readers are reacting to as well? Is there a rebellion against that?
Yeah, because I'm going for the more educated woman, the woman that has set her goals and knows what she wants. This affects a lot more the younger females, and that's who I'm really trying to reach to, because they think it's cute. They see in a magazine, the woman with the old stomach hanging out and everything, and they think that's cute because it's portrayed in the magazines, but actually it's not. If you really value yourself, as a young lady, and only that your mother can teach you, your aunt, other women in your circle have to be able to teach you that. And that, again, it stems from really educating these women about what we're doing to our daughters, our nieces. If I see my niece like that, the first time I do, excuse me, you have something else to wear? Like, cover yourself. Like, it's your mind, let them be attracted to your mind first.
Okay, the magazine is E2K, Everything to Know About Women, and Emma Ramos is here to tell us all about it. We'll be right back.